everybody doing? We here? We awake? Nothing like walking out to AC/DC to get your morning going, right? Megan and her staff knew what they were doing. Thank you all for being here today. Welcome to beautiful Destin, Florida. Welcome to the Sand Destin Resort. I think you all can see from our surroundings and accommodations why we chose this place. So I want to thank you all for being here. This is perfect, and this room is incredible. So it's time to get the meeting started. As you can see, this has taken a lot of planning. I mean, this is something that really goes into almost a year to the date worth of work when we start on this meeting. And with 65 degrees and the sunny weather and the surroundings, it couldn't be better. So with that in mind, I want to tell you this is our 12th annual ASP meeting. It's hard to believe. For those of you that are new to the room or this is your first or second meeting, I want to provide you with just a bit of history. This meeting first originally took place in 2007 in Macon, and where these folks are standing would be in between the two outdoor swimming pools at our campus currently. And this picture really to me is a testament and a sign of not only where our company has gone over the years, where our campus has gone and grown to over the years, but really where this meeting has evolved to over the years. And you take that picture and then you fast forward to today, and I think you can see the evolution in so many different areas. Now, as we get started, I want you to think about a couple things, our goals and your goals from this meeting. We all know that meetings are very, very difficult, right? They're taking you out of your normal everyday environment. We've all got phones that are ringing and kids and spouses and employees that depend on us every day. And so coming to a meeting like this is very, very difficult. It takes you out of your normal routine. And it does for our office as well. But what it does is it forces you to look at things a little bit differently. We always say that, right? It forces you to look on and in the business versus just working it. And so I think a lot of the preparation that so many of you did for this meeting was invaluable, not only for the meeting, but for your business as we move forward in the coming year. It allows you to look at things differently. It allows our office to compile data that we normally never would. Tom, on the ride over here, mentioned that to me as well with some data points that he found just in the last day or two. So all of those things are what go into helping us analyze the business and grow and come away from this meeting making impactful change. And so that's our goal, and that's what I would challenge you to be your goal as well, how to make impactful change, taking a few things away from this meeting. Now, as I do each and every year, I want to take you through an exercise that shows us the veteran owners in the room and shows us those first attendees in the room. So if you're a franchise owner, if you'll all please stand. We'll get your blood flowing. Here we go, come on. Franchise owners, if this is your 5th or greater meeting, so I'm going to give you a refresher. We're in Destin. We were in Savannah for 2 years. We were in Atlanta the previous 2 years. If this is your 5th or greater meeting, please have a seat. Those veterans in the room, thank you. If this is your 4th or greater meeting, this is your 4th meeting, please have a seat. 3rd meeting, please have a seat. 2nd meeting, please have a seat. So to those still standing, this is your first ASP Owners meeting. We welcome you to the family. Thank you. Thank you and welcome. This event not only would not be possible with you, this would not be possible without our staff. The incredible statistic that I shared last year, for those of you that remember, I had our staff keep up with hours that go into this meeting over the course of the year, compiling how many hours they spend on logistics and planning, data compilation. 750 hours for what we came up with last year, and it's an incredible feat to make sure that not only we're in the right venue, but that the right programs are in place and the right data is brought to you, again, to go back and make impactful change. And this event literally would not go the way that it would without them. So I'd like to ask our staff at this moment to please come forward, if they will. They love when we do this. Please, everybody, come forward, and let's give them a round of applause for what they do. Come on up. Come on. Because I promise you, being in a room like this, in a location such as this, 5.5, 6 hours from our office, does not come easily and takes an incredible amount of work and teamwork. But I wanted to share with you a stat that really popped into my mind as I was thinking about this meeting. As you all know, and this is something I'm going to speak about in a few minutes, but Authority Brands acquired us not long ago. And as part of that process, I had to go through a deep dive into our staff to really introduce them to everyone and let them understand who and where and when and why did your staff come about over the years. And it forced me, again, much like preparing for a meeting, it forced me to go back and look at everybody's original first year, their compensation plan and their job description and their history. Where did they come from, when and why? And put that entire timeline together of how this staff came to be what we are today. And that really opened my eyes in a way that I couldn't imagine. Because of course I knew that information, but when you put it all in one place and you write a timeline, and then you fast forward to just how strong this team is today, and it really showed us how impactful they are, not only on our world every day, but on your world every day. Almost every single person standing up here's job is to make sure that your franchise, your operation, runs better, more efficiently, more effectively, and more profitably in a given year, year after year after year. And it's with that in mind that I wanted to tell them how much we appreciate them. And we're also so thankful for the work that they do to put this meeting on. And we appreciate everything you all do. So thank you. Thank you. Now, what's our theme for the meeting this year? This is a little bit different. In the past, we've tried to make a theme that really had an impact on day-to-day operations. Last year's theme, as you remember, was people, process, and profit. This year, we're taking a different turn with this. We're introducing not only a theme for this meeting that's going to really shape the next 2 days, but we're introducing our theme as a concept that's going to shape the rest of the life of our brand. Clean water matters. And I knew as I prepped for this speech, it would take me some self-discipline to not go into what Clean Water Matters is. That's tomorrow afternoon. But a lot of you already have a concept of what this is, and I can just tell you that the reason it's our theme for this meeting is because it's going to be one of the most impactful things that we have ever done to the brand as a whole. So Clean Water Matters is our theme, and you'll hear a lot over the next 2 days about that, especially tomorrow afternoon. So the State of the Union is something I traditionally do to talk about where was our brand in 2018. How did we look, globally looking down? What went on? What were some of the happenings? We also look at the year coming, 2019. What do we look like? What do we see ahead? And first I want to start this State of the Union by welcoming Mr. Rob Weddle, who's the CEO of Authority Brands. Rob, would you please stand? Everyone welcome Rob. Thank you, Rob, for being here with us. Tom and I made the decision to partner with Authority Brands. We did not take that decision lightly. It was not something that came about out of the blue. We knew that as we were going to take this brand to the next level, and as we needed to continue to grow into not just a national, but possibly an international operation, that was something that others before us had done far more effectively than we had. And we knew Rob, we knew his brands, we knew his company, because we went way back with him. We had watched over the years, he didn't know it, we had watched how they built the cleaning authority. Several years ago, as we launched our new websites inside of the company, we actually emulated a lot of what the cleaning authority did and how they did it. How did they build an in-home cleaning system into such a large franchise brand? So we understood their culture. We knew who they were. We watched as they grew into a brand and acquired other franchise systems like HomeWatch. But a few months ago, they made a strategic change. They said, we don't want to just be one or two brands. We want to actually be a brand. We want to be Authority Brands. When a customer thinks of Authority Brands, we want them to think about a home care franchise in some form or fashion. We want the consumer to associate Authority Brands with the best and the best franchise systems. And that is how our conversations initially started. Since that time, about a month ago, they added Mosquito Squad. And I can tell you, you will see this page continue to fill with other great franchise brands that will make Authority Brands a household name and a name that customers know that they can trust. Before I end this slide, though, I'll tell you, it was one thing for me to send that email and to write that letter to each of you about 90 days ago, because that was just happening. It had just happened, and there were a lot of assumptions made and a lot of promises made and a lot of contracts signed and things that we hoped would happen. But I have full confidence to stand here in front of you today and tell you that we're now 3 months into this relationship and we could not be happier. And I think that's going to be a sign of things to come for the coming years for everyone. So we're very, 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 very proud. And Rob, we thank you again for being here. So State of the Union, we're going to look back at 2018. Whether you were just launching your business, maybe you're in your first or second year, or whether you were chasing the $3 million mark, we found a tremendous success from top to bottom in many, many of our franchise locations. I want to take a moment and remind you of last year's theme, people, processes, and profit. Remember that? A lot of work went into that theme, and I want to share with you that it's very important that we continue to take that theme and apply it to your business now and going forward. Themes from previous meetings don't die, they continue to live on. And I want you to remember that over these next 2 days. Keep working on your people, your process, and your profit, because obviously nothing's more important. Now, as in sports, nothing quite tells the story like the scoreboard, right? You've heard that many, many times. The scoreboard doesn't lie, nor does revenue. So let's look back on 2018 and get an understanding as a room, how did everyone do? And then in 2019, where are we going? So if you did over $500,000 in revenue in the 2018 year, please stand. Man, it's 9 a.m. Let's go. 500,000 or more, then you stand. Last night, these were the folks that were at our Founders Club reception. We had 39 locations do between $500,000 and $2.9 million in revenue. If you did over $750,000 in revenue, please continue standing. If you did $1 million or greater in revenue, please continue standing. You were close. There are 11 of you still standing. When I first had this slide several years ago, there were 4 of you standing. These are your $1 million locations. If you did over $1.5 million in revenue, please remain standing. And if you did over $2 million in revenue, please remain standing. We had 4 locations this year do greater than $2 million. Please give them a hand. Incredible. Very impressive. Very well done. Thank you. Currently, we're 106 franchise owners strong, and we're heading towards 115. Probably we'll be there by about midsummer. As an organization, that really shows our continued strength and our continued growth. We need new franchise owners to help expand the footprint and grow the brand. Together in 2018, we generated $55 million in revenue as a company, up 22% over the previous year. This is always a stat I share at this point, and I tell you this, it's very, very important to have overall company revenue growing, right? That goes without saying, but a lot of that is coming sometimes from new franchise owners coming in the system, or year 1 or year 2 locations that are having just tremendous growth. So I always want to take this stat and break it down one step further. It's one thing for a year 2 location to grow by 40%, right? But what did our top locations do? What do our top 10 and our top 5 look like? How did they do in a given year? That's a real measuring stick. Our top 10 locations in the year generated $18.5 million in revenue and were up 8%. And our top 5 locations were up 10%, generating almost $12 million in revenue. All of these locations were working the entire year on their people, their processes, and their profit. Now, I want to take this one step further. That was 2018. That's gone. That's in the past. Where are we? 2019. Your budget. that thing you submitted. It's got numbers on it. If you're generating $1 million or higher in the 2019 year, please stand. $1 million or higher in the 2019 year, please stand. A minute ago, there were 11 of you. Currently, there are 19 of you that are going to generate over $1 million in revenue. You back up 5 years, 6 years ago when we first did this slide, there were 4 of you. So for those of you new, thank you very much for standing. So for those of you new owners in the room, keep in mind the first few months, the first year, the second year, this business has a long-term outlook, a long-term path to grow, and keep that in mind. And I skipped the very last bullet point, which I believe was we will do $65 million, $66 million in revenue in the 2019 year. Okay, that's the State of the Union. That's how we're doing. That's how we did in 2018. Those are some of the big things that happened. That's where we're going in 2019. Now I want to take a moment and go to one of the most important things that we do in this entire meeting, and that is showcase the franchise owners in this room that are constantly working on their people, their processes, and their profit. They're constantly trying to work on the business, not in it. These are your top franchise owners who really we then have to whittle down and try to figure out a group now that's gotten very difficult. How are we going to nominate only a few of those? Traditionally, this has been 3 or 4 locations that we nominate for the franchise of the year. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, my office can attest, this was the hardest year that we've ever had, not only to pick the franchise of the year, but to just nominate down to 4 franchise nominations. Because we started with about 10 or 12, which is very, very impressive to some of you in this room. So, this award's going to the best of the best. These are 4 candidates that show us why. This award is given in the location that works all 12 months. And we're going to start this meeting off by giving this award today. I'd like the following nominees of this award to please come forward. And if you will, let's join me up here on the left of the stage, okay? ASP of Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, come on up. Where are you, John? Good job. ASP of Dallas, Texas. Herschel. Where are you, Herschel? Oh, congrats, John. Come on, join me down there. There he is. ASP of Shreveport, Louisiana. John. Another John. There he is. ASP of Destin, Florida. Ryan, did you make the commute? Oh, congrats, John. Yes, sir. Come on up, gentlemen. That was longer than your drive over this morning, wasn't it? ASP of Nashville, Tennessee. I want to take these and break these down one at a time. And I want to talk to you for a minute about why each location specifically is up here and give you a couple of stats. And let me talk through those with you. ASP of Nashville, Tennessee. John won the Best Co-New Start Award in 2014. Remember that in a minute. In 2014. EERC member, so he gives back time and time again when we need something from a location. We continue to find John as a leader in the company. And I want to talk to you about his revenue. Take a look at this screen and look at his revenue year over year. His first year in business when he started was a 9-month year, by the way, $239,000 in revenue. Second year, first full year, went to $585,000 in revenue. Grew to $850,000 in revenue. Then crossed the 1.1 mark. This year, he did 1.51. But the most impressive stat and why he was nominated, he was the fastest organic growth to $1.5 million we've had in the history of the company. Congrats, John, for your nomination. Did you know that? You didn't know that stat, I would imagine. The fastest growth to 1.5. ASP of Dallas, Texas. Everyone knows this gentleman. Not his first time up on stage. Herschel won the Franchise of the Year award in 2013. He was the first location to break the $2 million mark in our company's history. Herschel generated $2.9 million in revenue this year and is on pace to be the first $3 million man in our company's history. He has won the highest gross sales award for 6 years running. Congrats, Herschel. ASP of Shreveport. John Bodden won the best co-new start in 2014. Remember those two co's? There they are right there, no coincidence. Revenue each year, look at his revenue when he started, 414, 633 in his second year, 791, broke the $1 million mark, and this year did 1.25. Most impressive stat to me in John's entire business is that he not only grew and continued to have that rapid pace growth, but he outgrew the average net profit as well. So take the average net profit in the room that you all know we are and smokestack. Very, very impressive. But you take a more impressive stat and you look at the people and the processes and the profit that John has in place, and you really understand how that impacts his business. Mid-2017, John goes down for almost 2 months, not operating his business, and continued to have that sales growth and that profit growth, which shows his incredible dedication to his staff and his staff in return back to him. Congrats, John. Being up here. ASP of Destin, Florida, Ryan Island, won the Franchise of the Year award the very first year we had it, 2011. Wildly impressive stat. Think about this one. Ryan has the highest per capita revenue of any location that we have in the entire company. What does that mean, per capita? His territory is only 6,000 swimming pools, and he broke $2.5 million in revenue this year. So if you have a location and you think you have a small or medium-sized territory, know that there are no limits to that territory. Take that a step further in the revenue that he's responsible for. He has 2 other locations which he's partners in. Ryan's franchises total over $4 million in revenue in 2018. Congrats, Ryan. Why are these 4 locations standing up here? Think about this for a minute. In your mind, why are these 4 standing up here? Is it territory size? Shreveport, Louisiana, and Destin, Florida show you that it's not territory size. Is it owner experience? Absolutely not. 3 of these gentlemen, I had to teach the difference in a pump and a filter their first day at training. I won't say which 3. Is it owner good looks? Absolutely not. Look at them. Maybe 1. Why are they up here? It's because they work harder than the competition. They work smarter than the competition. They work on the business, not in it. At the end of the day, this business is very, very simple. It just boils down to, are you going to go out and work harder than the competition? Are you going to use the tools and resources that we provide you every day and then go execute? That's the secret to this business. Your Franchise of the Year winner is going to be announced tomorrow night at the party. Congratulations, gentlemen. Have a seat. Thank you. Now it's time to get the meeting started. We're here. We've all come a long way. We've all put a lot of effort into this meeting on your end and on our end. Keep in mind, though, our vendors have put in an incredible amount of work, incredible efforts to be here as well, some of which have traveled many, many miles, many, many hours to be here tonight. We've extended the vendor showcase by an hour per your request. A lot of you last year wanted more time because our vendor showcase had grown in size. Kevin is up there right now. I saw a picture this morning. It's looking incredible. Our biggest room yet, our best vendor showcase yet. So please take the time. These vendors are coming here not really because we beg them to. It's because they beg us to. How can we get more time with your owners? How can we show them more product? So please give them that back in return. It will be an incredible night. I've seen everything for the next 2 days. I'm telling you, the franchise owners that are presenting over the next 2 days, the breakout that we'll have tomorrow afternoon, the programs that we have in place. Most importantly, the party Friday night. There is a party Friday night. There's an open bar this year, and I've got a very important announcement to make. It's not just beer and wine this year. Okay. Thank you. That one stings a little bit, but it's not just beer and wine. Okay? With that in mind, I would like to thank you all for being here. I would like to ask for your best. I would like for you to make the next 2 days the best that you've had here. And with that in mind, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our MC and our very own Mr. Jimmy Meese. Jimmy.